by today's third place finisher, Alex Bowman. Alex, why don't you walk us through your run today?
Yeah, thanks. We had a pretty solid day. I felt like, we just kind of struggled on the long runs a little bit, but had really good pit stops all day. Our Ally Camaro was pretty fast, decent restarts. Nothing went wrong for once. It seems like every race all year, something's gone wrong, right? So just glad that we were able to finally put an entire day together and not have anything go wrong. And Greg called a great race. We were just a little off. Was on the splitter a little bit over the bumps, and then would kind of snap the back of the car out of the racetrack after that. So solid day. Really proud of the 48 team, and on to the dirt race next weekend.
Good deal. We're going to start with Jim Utter. Go ahead with the question, Jim.
Hey, Alex, you touched on this, but you guys have shown, for the most part, as much speed as your teammates so far this season, but have not been able to obviously capitalize on the results. Although you didn't really have a chance to capture the win today, did it feel good to be in that position?
Yeah, absolutely. We've struggled in some areas this year that have been pretty frustrating. I feel like we've really struggled in dirty air, maneuverability in traffic and restarts and stuff, and worked really hard at bringing somebody to the racetrack that I could be aggressive with and could drive hard. So felt good to have that, to be able to pass cars. And, my pit crew did a great job keeping us up front as well. So, it definitely feels good to be closer to the front. We want to be a couple spots better, but after the last couple of weeks, this definitely feels pretty good.
And in general, the performance of Hendrick Motorsports, how does it feel for you guys right now to be a part of the organization?
Yeah, every day walking into HMS for me is a dream come true. So still enjoying every minute of it, but I feel like, this is the strongest start to the season the company overall has had. I feel like as a race team, we were a little better the beginning of last year than we are the beginning of this year. Like, felt like us specifically could have won Vegas. We did win Fontana, came back after the break pretty strong. So, I feel like we're a little behind, but, the 5 and 24 specifically are super fast each and every week. And it always is good to be able to learn from them. So, everything is going really well. A lot of really smart people working really hard back at the shop, and it's paying off.
Thanks, Alex.
Yep.
Our next question will come from Bob Pockris. Go ahead with the question, Bob.
Yeah, Alex, the car, you guys got strung out a little bit today. I'm curious, does the surface have anything to do with it? And then also, when they talk about repave, does it matter if they repave between July and the start of the 2022 season with the next gen car? Like, if you're going to start, does it matter to you or to drivers at all about, that if you're going to change something, why not change everything all at once?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the surface, you're going slower, so it's a little more forgiving, just because the abrasiveness of the racetrack. And you can have some huge corrections and still catch the race cars. So that's probably why it gets as strung out as it does. There's really no mechanical grip once the tires are worn off. So I feel like that's another reason it gets strung out. Aero grip is super important. So it's hard to follow somebody closely. As far as repaving it, I haven't driven the new car yet, so it's really hard for me to say. I hope they never repave this place. I think the slick racetracks are so much fun, and we've repaved some places and not had the races that we used to at those racetracks. So, I love the fact that you can run from the bottom all the way to the outside wall here. You can move around. It's got so much character. I understand the need to repave it, right? But from a race car driver's perspective, I hope they never do. I love these places with character.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Kelly Crandall. Go ahead with the question, Kelly.
Thanks. Hey, Alex, I wanted to go back to what you just said about learning from the 5 and the 24. What has that what have those lessons been? And I guess just how close are all 4 cars to each other, or are you guys just completely different? So what's applying, I guess, that you're learning from the other 2?
Yeah, I feel like all 4 cars are really similar each and every week. The team does a really, really good job of working together and bringing the best product to the racetrack that they can. I feel like, every crew chief has their own interpretation. Every engineer has their own interpretation of the data and the tools that we have at HMS. So there are differences in all 4 cars. Doesn't matter if you think you're showing up the same as a teammate. Different teams just kind of do things just a little bit differently, right? And little things add up at these events. So they're definitely close. It's an open notebook. That's the best part. So when we struggle a little bit and our teammates are up front, we can go to them and lean on them, which is great. So I don't know exactly what the things are or aren't, but I'm glad that we have some really fast teammates to lean on.
Is there a particular area where your team is really trying to focus right now that you feel is the biggest, I guess, hindrance that you've been fighting?
Building faster race cars. I don't know. I feel like, kind of like I said earlier, I've struggled on restarts a lot this year with just, instead of being on offense, I felt like I'm trying not to crash for a couple laps. So I feel like today was a step in the right direction in that, and excited to, I guess next week is probably going to be a whole different deal, but from then on, see how it applies.
Our next question will come from Jacob Seelding. Go ahead with the question, Jacob.
Thanks, Matt. Alex, going back to the conversation about leaning on your teammates, you referenced how strong the start has been, and you thought maybe it was the best that Hendrick has had. Do you feel like that a lot of that is because of how closely you guys are working together? And was there a conversation before the start of the season that you guys needed to be tighter knit as a group?
Well, I think, we ended last year really strong as well. With a 9 win the championship, I think we scored the second most points during the playoffs, or at least had until the very last race. So, we all ended the year pretty strong. I feel like that's carried over. I feel like anytime you kind of move people around and have some new faces, whether it's, Kyle, a new driver on the 5, Rudy, a new crew chief on the 24, typically that like sparks, positive things pretty quickly. So, I feel like that's, they've both been great additions. But I really think it just stems from ending last year so positive and, continuing the positive momentum.
Greg Ives has been the constant for you, as you just alluded to. What has he brought to the team? How has he helped make you a better driver?
Riddles. He likes to talk in riddles. So I feel like, Greg and I are both a little awkward at times, but I think, recently Greg has stepped up and kind of identified some areas that he can help me in the race car, whether it's on the radio, keep giving me more information and helping me understand things, or telling me, things I can do differently and what he sees on the driver data and stuff like that. So I feel like today Greg talked more on the radio than he has any race I've ever been a part of, and I think it was really positive. So yeah, I think, we've been working together for like 4 years now, but we still are learning, and I feel like, we've learned some things that he can do to help me, and it's definitely showing.
Our final question for Alex will come from Rob Tiongson. Go ahead with the question, Rob.
Hey, Alex, congratulations on your podium finish this afternoon. You guys, the 48 team, are off to a terrific start as a whole, but I have to ask you about your expectations ahead with the unpredictable race at the Bristol Dirt Race.
I'm excited. I may not be a dirt guy per se, but I probably have more dirt starts than most, I guess, going into Bristol. I ran a couple different midget series for a couple of years, and while I ran pavement more than dirt, I did run some dirt stuff. I'm going to race my wing sprint car this year as well, so I definitely enjoy the dirt thing. I'm ready to go. I ran the ARCA race on dirt. I feel like that was somewhat similar. I don't know what to expect. You know, you saw the track get pretty rough over the last couple nights. But those late models make a lot of grip and do some crazy stuff with the rear suspension that I guess kind of probably tends to dig the racetrack up a little bit. Our cars are heavy, but I don't think they'll, at least, I don't know. We'll see if they do the same thing or not. But I'm just excited. I love new and different things. I think going somewhere completely different than what we've done in the Cup Series for forever is pretty awesome. Who knows if it's going to be amazing or not great or what the racetrack's going to do or what's going to happen. But I think just the fact that it's new and different and exciting is it's really cool to be a part of.
Appreciate it, Alex. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Alex, thanks for taking the time to join us and good luck at Bristol.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.